Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Claire Gravely and this is Claire Gill, and as David just said, we're from the University of Surrey, and we'd like to give you a very brief introduction into how we've been going about integrating mobile technologies into the university library. I'm just going to take you through our aims and approach so far, and then Claire will tell you a little bit more about some of the technical changes that we've been making and our next steps. So we'd seen an increase in the use of mobile devices to access our web pages, and we'd also been seeing quite a large increase in the number of students around the library using mobile devices and actually coming to our support desk with questions. And at this point we thought we need to start doing something about this, and we ought to get our staff prepared. So our initial aim was that we wanted to ensure that our users would have access to our resources and information from any device anywhere. And some initial research that we were doing into the subject, we decided we needed to make the decision as to whether or not we were going to go down the mobile app route, or if we were going to focus more on a sort of responsive web design. Excuse me. The university policy that we have at Surrey is that they were going to not go for an app, but they were going to focus more on mobile responsive designs for websites. We also felt at the time that we were lacking resources to build and develop an app ourselves, so we've also gone for this route. And this also led us to our approach, which was a change what we can now to improve services and access. So we didn't want to get too bogged down into the technicalities of it, but we wanted to make sure that that we could do everything that we could now with the resources we had available to improve our access to students. So once we made that decision, and we were able to take a little bit of a step back, and we realised that integrating mobile technology wasn't only relevant to our users, but it was also something that was going to be important for all of the staff working in the library. So far, we've had a very staff-focused approach. This started with some initial training that we did for our staff, which involved us getting hold of a number of different tablets and inviting staff to come to a training session, which allowed them to have a little play with them, get a feel for the devices. We had quite a broad range of staff. We have some that already obviously have their own iPads, smartphones, that sort of thing, but we also had staff who'd never really used one. So for them, it was really helpful to get a feel for the devices that students were coming in with. We also gave them a few exercises that gave them the opportunity to search for information and try and access a couple of our journals, see what it was like using our web pages through these devices. And so far, they found that very useful. We have also started integrating iPads into some of our staffing workflows. So our electronic resources team and our web development team use them for both troubleshooting and just general testing that we do around the library. Our academic liaison librarians then requested that they were given iPads, and they started taking these out to university-wide meetings in different departments, and they use these to help give demonstrations when they're out and about across campus as well. And our user support team have started using them for their roving. So we've got, I'll show you a picture here, we have our beautiful library staff lanyards that are in a nice green colour, and they've got iPad covers that match those. And what that's actually done, our roaming staff now feel a lot more confident when they're out and about in the library. It makes them feel like a service, makes them feel like they're there to help people as opposed to just a monitoring service who are there to tell people to be quiet. We've seen some improved support for users from our support desks. People are now more confident using them. They can come and find us anytime, use the device, and practice. And our liaison librarians have said that they feel that they're giving a more professional image when they go out to their meetings. They see a bit of envy from other departments across the university when they get out their iPads, and generally it makes us, gives the library a really good image. We're right at the front here with our technologies. So that's some of the benefits we've seen from doing it this way. We've had quite a heavy approach on staff, and I'm just going to pass you over to Claire now, who's going to show you some of the technical changes that we've made to our web pages.
Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we did was, because we wanted to know what the students actually wanted in regards to accessing library information and resources on their mobile phones and their tablets, because we've got limited time and resources, so we wanted to really focus what we had. So we put a poll up on our blog, and we also held 2 focus groups. And they pretty much unanimously showed everyone was in favour of mobile-friendly websites or an app. The focus groups in particular were very keen on the idea of having an app. As we couldn't make an app straight away, we've been concentrating on changing what we can. So one of the first things that we implemented was to use QR codes because they involve so little effort. They're absolutely easy to use. So we currently use these around the library on posters, electronic displays, and handouts, and they link to things like web pages and also the contact details for our academic liaison librarians. There hasn't been a huge use of these, but there has been some quite varied amounts for different events, resources, and in different locations. And we have been told by some students that they do find them useful. Another quick win for us was getting the mobile version of our library catalogue. So that's now available, allowing the students to search for books as they are mentioned in lectures, and also they can renew them as they're wandering around campus because they can't be bothered to go into the library. This was a very popular request, actually, that came out of the focus groups, and since all involved was changing a setting in our admin console for the catalogue, it was very easy. We don't have the ability to make major changes to our main web pages, but we've created mobile-friendly sites for our opening hours and our group study room bookings, and those were other needs that were highlighted by the focus groups. They were a bit more complicated to make because we actually had to make functional changes rather than just cosmetic changes, but they seem to be an improvement, and we'll be rolling both of those out very soon. We're currently working on a web page listing all the apps that our e-resources suppliers have available, and we've created a spreadsheet listing all of those which have mobile-friendly sites or apps and deciding which of them will be useful to us. And we're going to be doing some training for the staff before making these pages live. While the focus group showed that the students do want an app, it also showed they don't actually differentiate between library information and university information. And what we're actually doing at the moment is talking to the university's digital platforms team about getting a university-wide app that the library can be tied in with. And we're also migrating to a new content management system, so hopefully all of our web pages will soon be very mobile-friendly. So that's what we've been doing, so mainly concentrating on getting the staff trained and comfortable with using all the mobile technology that's out there, and doing the changes that we can quickly now. And we'll be here at 2 if you want to come and talk to us.